We are about to embark on what is widely regarded as the most epic road trip in the whole of the UK. And actually many people who have done it claim that it's one of the best road trips in the entire world. And it is right here on our doorstep. Yes, that's right, we are about to take on Scotland's NC500. In this mini-series there will be magnificent waterfalls, spectacular scenery, crumbling castles, tropical beaches, incredible drives, stunning caves and the odd Highland coup and much more. So make sure you're subscribed so you can join us on our journey as we battle the elements around the Scottish Highlands.
But we realised on our way up here that we are missing the most vitally important ingredient for a good road trip. Our snack box is completely empty, so first things first, we've got to do something about that.
The official route starts in the most northern city in Scotland, Inverness, which is where we are right now. And technically it starts at the castle in the city centre. However, we need snacks, as we said before, so we're starting our route in the little car park. Snacks sorted.
For those of you that have never heard of it then, the NC500 or the North Coast 500 to give it its full name is a road trip loop around the northernmost point of the Scotland mainland. It's 516 miles to be exact, and because it's a loop you can go round it in either a clockwise direction or an anti-clockwise direction. We are heading west in a clockwise direction, not for any particular reason, it's just the route that we fancied taking.
We've only been on the road for about half an hour and already the scenery is absolutely epic. And I'll tell you something else, we look to have lucked out on the weather as well, because Scotland is well renowned, much like the rest of the UK, for having very changeable weather and not the best at this time of year either. But it is blue skies all the way.
We have just stopped off at a place called Rogie Falls, which is on the Blackwater River, I believe it's called. It's actually a place that is quite famous for being able to see salmon jumping in the summer. I think it's like July to September, so I'm not sure we're going to see that today.
Yeah, it might be a little bit early for that.
But yeah, the scenery is supposed to be amazing anyway, so we're heading on down there now to have a look at the waterfalls. Because there's been quite a lot of rain recently, I'm hoping that they're going to be pretty spectacular.
Rogie Falls were indeed spectacular, and it's easy to see why they're a popular first or last stop on many NC500 routes. The main walks around here are lovely, but actually quite short, so after a quick and unsuccessful search for some extremely early leaping salmon, we headed on to continue further west.
This isn't very good.
Not great, no. We did see a ton of emergency vehicles going past whilst we were parked up in the last place. So there must have been a pretty big incident. I've got a feeling it's probably a crash. If the road's closed, then I don't know if there's another one.
Let's ask. We just spoke to the traffic officers then, where the road was closed there, and there's been a really bad accident with a car and a motorbike. We did see an air ambulance going overhead as well, so yeah, really not good. They said the road is going to be closed for another 4 or 5 hours, and there basically isn't another alternative route. There isn't a diversion that isn't us going like massively out of our way. It'd be like another 2 hours extra driving time to get to where we were going to. So we wouldn't then also be driving the NC500 route, which is the whole point of the road trip. So yeah, we have just found a park up nearby and we're going to stay here for the night, I think, because it's going to be getting quite late then to be driving, and we'll pick up the route tomorrow. AD is already fast asleep, so we are going to join her and have an afternoon nap. If you've watched our channel for a while, you will have heard us talking about napping quite a lot. Now, we started napping about 7 years ago, and we've been doing it pretty much every day since, so needless to say, we are massive fans.
Now, a lot of our friends and family find it quite funny that we actually do this as grown adults, but sleep is so important, and there's real method behind it. We both absolutely love mornings, and we realised a while back that we're also both at our optimum work-wise in the period when we've just woken up. So having a nap at around midday makes the second half of the day so much more enjoyable and more productive, and it's basically like a second morning.
We've recently started using these Manta sleep masks, and let me tell you, they have taken our napping to a whole different level. You need to forget anything that you know about sleep masks because these have been designed from the ground up. They're infinitely adjustable to your head with this super comfortable Velcro headband and movable eye cups. The eye cups have been specially designed so they don't put any pressure on your eyes, and best of all, they're completely 100% blackout, which we've noticed provides a much deeper sleep.
Manta make a wide range of masks to solve your sleep issues, with everything from eye cups that are weighted to ones that act to cool and soothe your eyes. Honestly, these things are amazing, and we'd love for you to give them a go because we're pretty sure that you'll love them too, and sleep is so important to our overall well-being.
So we've partnered with Manta Sleep to bring you 10% off their entire range. Either click the link in the description below or simply enter TWWON10 at checkout to claim your discount now. Even though we've only been back in England for a couple of weeks, and for most of that we've been parked on friends and family's driveways, it's so apparent how unwelcome campervans are in England. So it feels lovely to be up in Scotland where there are loads of amazing park ups. This one that we're at right now has a sign saying no overnight parking without a toilet. Of course we do have a toilet, and so we can park overnight.
I've just seen a sign that we are parked next to some interesting looking stones as well. So while Jay is cooking dinner, AJ and I are going to go and try and find them. Do you think you're going to cook with the door open then?
I'm definitely cooking with the door open. This
Really?
is beautiful, yeah. Cooking with a view is just one of my favourite things in the world. So yeah, stunning view. It's cold, but I've got to put up with it for that.
Okay, AJ. Should we go on a little adventure?
So you know those stones we just went to try and find?
Yeah.
I read the thing wrong and I thought that was a map to where they are. But actually, it's where they were found but not where they actually are now. The stone that you can see is just there.
Oh right, that's it.
We did find some like other monuments and stuff, but yeah, that's what we were looking for. It was right on the side of the sign.
I've had to shut the door now, it's just getting too cold.
But dinner is served. We have got a delicious cottage pie this evening.
Absolutely. And I've got a question actually, because I've recently picked up this Henderson sauce. Actually, I've got two questions. So first of all, have you ever heard of Henderson sauce? And secondly, if you know Henderson sauce, then what do you have it with? Because I'm going to try it with cottage pie, but I've literally got no idea. I'm assuming that it's something like Worcester sauce, but it doesn't really taste that much like Worcester sauce. And the people that are big fans of Henderson sauce that I've read about online claim that it is nothing like Worcester sauce, and they get a bit offended when you say that it is. So yeah, any tips on what is best to have it with would be very much appreciated.
I've never even heard of it.
It's actually still light out, but we are pretty knackered and we want to get up early tomorrow to catch up to where we should have got to today. So we are thinking we're just going to go to bed at the same time as AD today. So we will catch you in the morning. Good night.
Well, what a glorious park up, even though we hadn't intended to stay here, and it was kind of by pure chance because the road got closed that we ended up here. It was amazing, the views were incredible, so well worth stopping here, and we really enjoyed it. We are now ready to hit the road. We got up a little bit later than we intended because it was so peaceful, it's so quiet. We slept in a little while, had a bit of breakfast, and we're about to set off and see what the day brings.
We've got to a bit in the route where there's a big sign that says basically you only need to go past it if you are an experienced driver, and there's an alternative route if you're not. So we had a little think about it and we've decided to go for it. Jay is an experienced driver and I'm pretty sure that some of the mountain roads that we drove in Morocco will have been a lot more precarious than this. We'll see anyway. The weather looks fine, so it should be okay. The main problem is that it's a single track road, so you have to use the passing places to let people pass coming in the other direction. And there's quite a lot of steep bends, so you've got to be aware of your turning circle to make sure that you can basically get round them without having to do like a 3-point turn on the bend. So yeah, fingers crossed that it's going to be okay and we're not going to regret making this decision. How are you feeling, Jay, up for the challenge?
Yeah, fine. Like you say, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as bad as some of the roads that we've driven, so let's give it a go and see.
We're also not a motorhome. The Sprinter's got a massive engine in it, and although we are carrying quite a lot of weight, it does typically cope really well on inclines. There's a restriction on the road that says 18 tonne. Obviously we are nowhere near that. I can see a motorhome coming in the opposite direction as I'm speaking. So yeah, I think we're going to be absolutely fine. Do you know what the thing is with this road? I think people probably rent motorhomes to do this trip and perhaps maybe haven't even driven one before, or certainly not very experienced with driving big vehicles, and that's what they want to avoid, being driven on these roads. I think there's supposed to be a viewpoint on here right now.
Can't see further than the end of my arm.
Okay, so we are now in a place called Applecross, the Applecross Inn to be exact, and this is where we are going to be stopping off for lunch because, hopefully, if it's open, because we've read that they do some amazing seafood here, so we're pretty excited about that. That picture above you is the road that we just drove and the view that you're supposed to be able to see from the top.
Look, nothing like that for us. But it looks great in the picture, yeah. Well, that lunch was amazing.
It was so good. I'm absolutely stuffed. I'm quite regretting getting that sticky toffee pudding now. I'm going to be asleep this afternoon on the drive.
I'm just going to explain what happened there. So, I don't often go for puddings just because I'm not a sweet fan. Sarah ordered herself a big sticky toffee pudding.
But it was massive.
It was
I didn't
huge,
think it was going to be that big.
Yeah, and AD and ice cream, and it came out and neither of them wanted to eat them, so I had to eat both.
When we were doing some research this trip, I read that a good tip is that when your tank, your diesel or petrol tank or whatever, is halfway full, the next petrol stop that you see to get some, because they're quite few and far between. We were at the halfway mark this morning and we got to a petrol station and it was closed, so we had to just carry on, but we've got to one here now in this village that looks like it's a goer. They call it a community petrol station and it's ran on a non-for-profit basis by volunteers. It's not something that we've come across before in the UK or in Scotland even, so yeah, something quite unusual.
A little bit of a surprise, the prices at this pump were actually really reasonable as well. It was 153.4 per litre, which is pretty decent. And the reason that I didn't expect that is because it's a community run thing, they tend to be a little bit more pricey, but actually that is really quite in line with a lot of the prices that we've seen around Scotland anyway, so good stuff. Well, that drive was absolutely incredible. There was just unbelievable scenery in every direction for every part of it. And I think it's quite easy in Scotland to take the scenery for granted a little bit because it is just amazing everywhere you go. But we're only on the second day, obviously, of our NC500 trip, so we're still just trying to absorb as much of it as possible. And yeah, it is just beautiful. The place where we are staying tonight is right here. It is by the side of a loch, and it's in Britain's oldest nature reserve, and it is called Beinn Eighe. I don't know if that's pronunciation. I'm probably absolutely butchering it. If you can pronounce it and you can spell it phonetically, let us know down in the comments below what I should be saying. But it's getting quite late now. It's probably about 6 o'clock, so we are going to have a little explore. There's a couple of trails around here that look really great to walk, but it's a bit late for us to set off now because it is about to get dark, I think. So we're just going to explore around the loch a little bit, and then we're just going to get in and down for the night.
Because we haven't planned exactly where we're staying each night on this road trip, we're just kind of seeing where we get to each day, where we fancy stopping, and just, yeah, making it up as we go along. We didn't actually know about this place until we pulled in last night, and it's absolutely beautiful this morning. The weather is so nice. We were actually thinking last night we were just going to head off straight away this morning to a dump station because we need to empty and fill our tanks. But because it's so lovely, we are going to head out on one of the hikes here and have a little explore around this area first. So yeah, we've just got up, had some breakfast, and we're going to head out now.
You ready to go?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm really ready. It's so beautiful this morning.
I know, it's stunning, isn't it?
Like, it's actually pretty warm.
Yeah, well, I'm here in a t-shirt, and I know it's a little bit chilly for me, but there's plenty of people that I know who would really enjoy this weather. This is like their ideal temperature, so yeah, absolutely amazing.
Let's get going.
The trail that we are doing says it's about 1.25 miles and should take us around an hour, but it does also say in the little booklet that we've got that it's quite strenuous. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no. I mean, it looks uphill because pretty much everything around here is uphill, so I imagine that's why it's strenuous. But no problem, I've only got a 2-stone baby on me. We've been going for exactly 7 minutes. And these two are already having a rest. It's not that strenuous, is it? This area is absolutely teeming with wildlife. There are deer, there are wild cats, there are pine martins, there are all sorts of different birds. In fact, there are even eagles. And I forgot to say that we saw an eagle on our way here yesterday. It swooped right down in front of the van. It was absolutely incredible. And this place is just so tranquil. It's incredible. There is barely any noise. All you can hear is the birds singing and a little bit of water running in the background as well, because there's some waterfalls on the other side of the loch. Absolutely stunning. Even though this walk is pretty short, it's got this fairy tale like quality to the scenery, because there's a blanket of moss that's covering the floor and reaching up the bottoms of the tree trunks. There are babbling brooks either side of us, and the air is just so pure, it's beautiful. It's such a lovely way to start the day, and there's just this magical feeling about it. That walk was absolutely amazing, exactly what we needed this morning actually, and we're just going to get down for a nap before we carry on with the rest of our day. See you on the other side.
Well, that was a pretty good nap. We grabbed a quick bit of lunch and we are now on the road again on the way to the dump station.
I've got to say, this is probably one of the most picturesque places that we've ever emptied our toilet. It's a really good place. You can empty your toilet, you can fill up with water, you can empty your grey and stuff. And it is just absolutely beautiful. You can leave a donation if you want to, which obviously we are going to. If you don't have cash to put in the box, then there's also a little QR code so you can scan and send them some cash on PayPal. Pretty cool.
Right, that's us all emptied and topped up. One of the I guess van life hacks that we like to do, if you can call it that, where the fill points are relatively quiet, is that we get there, we empty out and fill up our water, and then take a shower, and then before we leave, fill up and empty out again. We don't do this in places where there are loads of facilities, like we weren't doing it in Morocco, and we don't generally do it in Europe, but in the UK certainly, where there's not that many facilities, they're kind of few and far between. That's what we do to try and manage our services a little bit better.
We've travelled about just over an hour further up the coast, and this is where we've ended up. Not a bad spot at all. It is getting pretty late now, so I think we're probably just going to head in, grab some dinner, and then get to bed pretty early so that we can wake up for the sunrise. That's what we thought, until we spotted these guys.
Well, we are all absolutely starving. We need to get in the van and have our dinner, don't we, Bob? But we're just mesmerised because there are deers and stags just out there on the landscape in front of us, and it's just so enchanting. They just keep popping their heads up, and you can see all their big horns and everything in the sunlight as it's going down behind the hills, and it's just one of the most incredible things. It's amazing.
Well, I don't know about you two, but I could spend a few days here.
Yeah, I know, it's so peaceful, and just watching the deer off in the distance is it's incredible. Like you said yesterday, it's magical.
So how many have you spotted?
Just spotted 7. We only saw 1 originally because it was the only one that was standing up. But the longer that we've looked, we've been able to see that actually the rest of the herd is lying down, and you can just barely see them because they're so well camouflaged. But when they turn their heads, or sort of, I suppose, flick their legs or something like that, you can see the movement. Just amazing to see.
I know. Oh,
what a thing to wake up to.
I know. This route just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Well, we've managed to drag ourselves away from that gorgeous park up. That has definitely been the best one so far, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. So scenic.
Oh, just absolutely beautiful. And we were just saying, like, this is one of the reasons that we love living in a van. You literally can't stay in that spot. There isn't a hotel, there isn't a house, there isn't anything. Like, to be able to have that, wake up to that view, you have to be in a camper van, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's completely free. It just feels mad to just be able to wake up, open your door, and just that view be there right in front of you. Yeah, feeling really, really happy today.
Well, we have arrived at our next destination, and I've got to say I'm really happy because the weather's amazing and it's a little hike that we're going on. But also, we pulled up, and as we were waiting for Aidy to wake up from her nap, they've literally installed this parking meter right next to the van. However, it's still got the cellophane wrap on, so I don't think it's working yet, which means that we don't have to pay. So the Scrooge in me is really happy about that. Are you ready for this walk?
I am ready. I thought you was going to say you were happy it didn't wake her up, but you're actually just happy that you don't have to pay.
Now, this place is actually called Corrie Gorge, and it is a National Trust Scotland site. And in the car park there was a guy from National Trust Scotland, and he said that there are 2 routes that we can take. The first route is a very short 10-minute hike to a viewing platform, and the second route is a little bit of a longer loop, which is probably about half an hour long, he said, and takes us through the gorge and back via the viewing platform. So we've opted for the longer route, and straight away we are back into the glorious Scottish countryside. That is not what I expected at all.
It's amazing, isn't it?
This is like a gigantic canyon. It's just, I don't even know, it's a fold in the earth. It's ridiculous.
I know, and I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to, but I just had to stand up on the fence a little bit to actually like see into the bottom because I couldn't see how far down it went.
It is so deep. I was expecting, you know, like a small gorge.
Yeah, exactly, with like a pretty waterfall and stuff, but this is just massive.
I think the main reason why this is so surprising and so spectacular is that it comes basically out of nowhere. There's only certain points that you can actually see this from. We couldn't see it from the path that we were just walking along at all. It is just a sheer drop into pretty much nothingness from a hillside. Incredible. Now, Sarah told me absolutely nothing about this place before we arrived here, and I'm starting to realise why, because she just pointed out that viewing platform behind me, which is apparently where we're walking to. Now, I've got a pretty debilitating fear of heights, and that does not seem like a fun time to me. I've also seen a bridge that we have to cross to get there, which goes across the entire gorge. Not for me.
So have you seen the sign on the bridge?
I have not.
It says maximum 6 people only.
Okay, we have to make sure that no one's coming the other direction then we're going across.
I mean, we're only 2.5, so we're going to be alright. Are you going to do it?
It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would from here actually, but that's because I can't actually see the gorge.
You see, this is why I didn't tell you about it, so you didn't like build it up in your mind to something bigger than it was. Let's go.
That is genuinely terrifying. That is knee knocking looking over the side of there. And I've just realised, right, the fact that it is only a 6-person bridge maximum means that's not even that strong a bridge. Okay, we've reached the viewing platform, and this also doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. From the other side, it looks like it's kind of really overhanging the gorge.
I think it is a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Come on, let's go and see.
Happy you did it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. It is absolutely amazing. But my knees are still knocking. It is really, really scary.
I like to push the limits of these things.
Yeah, why not? And in this spectacular spot is where we are going to leave you this week, friends. We really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please hit that thumbs up button to let us know. And drop us a comment down below to tell us your favourite part so far. If you're new around here, then make sure you subscribe to follow the rest of this NC500 road trip, and hit that little bell button too so you get notified when the next video drops. Next time, we discover that Scotland has beaches to rival any Caribbean island as well as some exotic inhabitants. We celebrate a very special occasion, and we revel in some unseasonably strong Scottish sunshine. Catch you then.